that we had to fight very hard to win. Credit to Cal Poly for the way they played in the first half, making, I think, 9 threes against a defense that was designed to prevent that. It's a 40-minute game. I thought we made good adjustments in the second half and played well enough to win. Excited about that and excited about moving on to tomorrow.
Questions for anyone up here? Not all at the same time?
Luke was pretty good tonight. I didn't realize he had 36, but it seemed like at any point he rose to shot at it, it looked like he was going to go in. I feel that way about both these two guys. Just about every time they shoot it. We had a great performance individually with 36 points. I mean, that's pretty special. But I also thought that we did a good job on the defensive end, and that will go overlooked probably with a 36-point outburst. But that was good. Yeah, I didn't think our offense was very good in the first half, but we scored 38 points because we made a bunch of tough shots. We didn't move the ball very well. I give some credit for that to Cal Poly. They played us differently, real differently than they had the other 2 times they played us. And it looked like we were slow to adjust to that. We're a good team because we've got a bunch of different guys who can step up when needed. And Luke did that for us tonight. There have been other nights, I think. And you have 36 one other time? Yeah, so, I mean, watching these guys get 36 doesn't surprise me. We've got talented players on our team. We've got unselfish guys. We've got guys who will find somebody when they got the hot hand. And that's all credit to the character of the guys in our program.
For Luke, were you aware of who you played at any point in the game?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, you look up trying to see the score or your fouls, and you do know this. But I mean, that doesn't play into my mentality as a player at all. I'm just trying to win.
You made some tough shots. What was did you make, they didn't go in and I don't want to say surprised you, but what was your favorite against them?
I mean, I wasn't surprised because, I have confidence in myself, and I kind of got that from, my teammates and my coaches. They gave me that confidence. So, I felt like I got a good rhythm early. Win. That was my favorite part of the game. So, yeah.
I want to say one thing. I mean, this guy dropped 36 on one of the best defenders in our league. Not easy to do, but he did it.
Bob?
Did they stop giving 3-point? Did you make them stop giving 3-point?
I don't think they would have stopped at the rate they were making them if we hadn't had something to do with it. I mean, we, played a lot more man-to-man defense in the second half than we did in the first. And the ability to go back and forth between those 2 defenses is something that, makes our team good and hard to beat. The first half, our zone defense, I thought we didn't finish a lot of the plays that went all the way down inside, the last 7 or 8 seconds of the shot clock. I thought we were just short of playing really good possessions, and they made us pay for it. I mean, they, got 2 great shooting performances from guys that we've defended well before. One is Michael, number 21. He made 4 in the first half. And Josh Martin went 3 for 3, and I think he's 3 for 20 on the year coming into this game. So, those were not the 2 main guys we focused on, but we did focus on taking away threes, and we were not able to do that well in the first half. And that's a little bit on us, but it's credit to Cal Poly.
Yes.
I'm not upset with him at all. I didn't think that what he did warranted an ejection. I'm not saying it was the wrong call. I haven't seen it. What I said to the team after the game, we've covered a lot of scenarios as a team about maintaining our composure, about being in situations where something like that doesn't occur. But we hadn't covered that one, and I think we covered it 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it hadn't really come up. I hadn't seen it in college basketball this year. Usually if you see something, then you grab the video and you include it in the next clip, and we hadn't done that. So I told the team after the game that was on me. You can't play this game without passion and emotion And the reality of that play was that they tackled our guy. And, that was the reality of the play. I was really surprised. I thought the result of the video would at least be a flagrant foul. And so when they told me that Mamadou was ejected, I was shocked. I don't like that rule, in that scenario to be enforced the way that it was, but I think the refs probably made the right call by rule, and it would really be unfortunate if our tournament fate were decided on something that was really a technicality. There was nothing Mamadou did other than approach, something that didn't look right. I don't think we'll make that mistake again. That's the great thing about having the type of guys on my team we have. We'll learn from that, and he'll have a little bit more rest for tomorrow.
Question there.
Coach, piggybacking on that, talk about the big guys that stepped up. I understand Mike Best and replaced them on when you did. You touched upon how well you guys did in the second half. So can you just talk about how they did it?
Yeah, I thought on defense, all three of our other big guys were really good. Mike Best, Jonathan Galloway, and Giannis Demakopoulos. I mean, they were all terrific defensively in the second half. And, to be a good defensive team, you got to be good at every spot. And we've recruited guys who can be really good defenders, man or zone. So that was what we needed to do, and that's what those guys did. That's the nature of having a deep and balanced team like we've got. I'm pleased with that. Those guys were ready. Galloway hadn't been through it before. He'd seen it last year as a redshirt, but he hadn't been through it, and I thought that he really stepped forward and, showed why we think he's going to be an excellent player in his future. And Best, has been playing terrific basketball for us for a while now, and really is stepping forward this year. And I'd say the same thing about Giannis. So those guys did what they're supposed to do.
Down front here.
Russ, were tensions running high before that foul, or did that play kind of take you by surprise?
The play did not take me by surprise. The player who was involved often makes those type of plays. So it was surprising to me with the aid of video, the officials didn't see it the way I saw it and issue a flagrant foul. That player is an excellent player and a competitor, but he's the guy. We've gone through it, when we do personnel video, we say this is what he's going to do. He's going to try to grab you. He's going to try to bait you. He's going to try to get you to do something stupid. We didn't do that. And the penalty only was that Mamadou, got tossed from the game, but he only played 16 minutes. So he'll be fresh tomorrow after his ice bath tonight.
Question there.
Being that UCI has been definitely quite a bit all the time, Coach, do you think teams sometimes forget about the hot hands out of Nelson and Young and just focus on their height?
I doubt they forget about it. I think that the coaches in this league are very good. Sometimes maybe the media doesn't understand how good our guards are because it's so easy to see that we're different because we're big. These guys are, I've said this many times, these guys are championship guards. They've played together 3 years. We've won 3 championships, and we're going after more. That's a credit to them. They know how good they are. I think even if some others sometimes don't, we know. Our team knows, and they've both made sacrifices with, potential individual accolades to be on a good team. And good teams, share the ball. Good teams don't care who scores. Good teams want to make the right play so that the team wins. Tonight, Cal Poly filled up the paint, put everybody around our big guys. And these guys made them pay for it.
Bob.
Questions for Luke. One, came off the court limping. Anything damage to your leg?
No, just a go ahead. I'm just fine.
And
Guys nowadays like to exaggerate their injuries.
Thanks, Coach.
We try to have a 1-second rule. He took a little longer than that.
you talked about the balance of this team, the fact that when one guy is hot, everyone's beat. You could talk about how unusual that is. I mean, basketball, for a lot of times it's one guy, two guys, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this a lot before. We have guys who can go off on any given night. Tonight was my night. Alex has had good nights. Mamadou's had big nights. Mike Best. The list goes on. So that's just the kind of team we are, and we don't rely on one or two guys to win. And that's our main goal. And the best way for us to win is to share the ball and play team defense.
And nobody's asked me about Aaron Wright and the contributions he had tonight. with 6 rebounds, 9 points, and outstanding defense on David Nwaba, who gave us 25 points in our last matchup. You guys all missed that one.
Right here.
For you guys, obviously a big win, but just talk about for Luke and Alex the hunger to really drive to win these next 2 games and to make it back.
Well, people will probably think that we're kind of complacent because we won a championship last year, but our locker room is totally on the opposite side of that. We got a bunch of hungry guys in there that want to win another championship so we can have another crack at the NCAA tournament. But our mentality right now is just take it day by day, game by game, and, let, the rest settle itself.
Yeah, I just want to say, we kind of feel like we have unfinished business in the NCAA tournament. So that's our motivation to win, tomorrow's game, which is going to be our 100% focus, and then hopefully the next game.
Time for one more? No, Air Barry?
Well, the first thing I told him when we were walking down the hallway, I said, you couldn't get 37? But no, Luke has games like this all the time, and I'm not surprised at it at all tonight. He steps up in big-time games, and, tonight we really needed him at the beginning because we got off to a slow start. And to have a guy like this makes my job easier because I just want to keep getting him the ball. If he's hot like that, I don't even really look anywhere else besides him if he's shooting like that. But I'm not, surprised at all.
Thank you, Ben. Congratulations. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, please. I got the envelope here. Third chair, Coach, please. Thank you. We're joined by Cal Poly Coach Joe Calero. Coach, if you'd make an opening statement, then we'll throw it to questions.
Well, an exciting first half, and a good old-fashioned shootout with our freshman Josh Martin and sophomore Luke Meikle were really keeping us in the game with some great, our 4 men. We really wanted to see if we could stretch the court with our 4 men, have them take and stretch the court, and they did. But I thought that some critical turnovers in the first half kind of maybe put us in a position where we could have maybe built a lead with that great first half. We didn't get enough really in the bank. I thought maybe that way we shot the ball could have been a 6 or 8 point lead. And them coming back out at the second half and just hitting their first 3 or 4 shots gave them that bit of confidence and gave us a little bit of pressure where we started forcing it a little bit. So then from that point on, I thought Luke Nelson was a kid that says that he's going to make a lot of money, continue to play basketball beyond the college level.
Questions for Coach?
So did you stop shooting threes by design, or did they just make them stop shooting threes?
I thought they did a good job, a really good job of pressuring out, and then we had a few more inside options to go to, rolled a few out here or there. But at the same time, the number of good clean looks that we had were minimal, but the number we made were minimal as well.
Joe, you guys went 9 of 13 from behind the line in the first half, phenomenal, almost 70%, yet you were down at the half.
Exactly.
Was that deflating for you guys?
Well, not as much deflating as disappointing from the sense that the easy baskets we gave them. I think we were more deflated from the turnovers that led to a couple layups late on, where we just when you make a shot, I think it was awfully. We had really good energy because we made those shots. So I didn't think anybody was deflated about it. It's like, yeah, as a coach, you go like, whoa, I don't know if we can shoot 9 of 13 again in the second half. So we were really hanging our hat in the second half, how we needed to defend the on-ball better. We were gonna change different ways and whether we were gonna hedge it, double team it, or go flat on it. But the rebounding, I thought, was the critical part of that, because they had 6 or 7, 8 offensive boards in the first half, and there was that stretch in the second half where they got 3 offensive boards in a row. I think that was more deflating. I think that the rebound, when you can play good defense and then they get that tip in, I think that was the deflating part of it. And then you just kind of look at it. Okay, but every time you hit a shot, believe me, 20-year-olds hit shots. There's going to be plenty of energy in their room. The offensive boards were kind of what I think punched us.
Go ahead.
Coach Clare, this season you talked about, wanting to push the pace more and be a more offensive-minded team. Do you foresee that being something you carry into next year, or do you guys go the other way?
Oh, we're definitely committed to trying to push the ball. If you can see our younger guys, I mean, we made a commitment. Our seniors it's kind of we caught between tempos. We had an older group that we'd played a lot of half court, a lot of smash mouth, but with our recruitment from our NCAA tournament bid 2 years ago, we got the interest of better athletes. Jalen Shedd can really push the ball. He's quick, he's aggressive, he's skilled. Josh Martin can run. Luke Meekel's skilled, really skilled 4-man. You get him into space. He can really do some good things. Was a leading scorer tonight as a sophomore. And so I think this year was a kind of a transitional year from an old guard, guys that set the bar. Cal Poly playing one way, and now we're moving towards that. Look, we really want to be a good, spaced team where we space the floor better, single post, 4-round, on-ball throwbacks. I think that we can be very good at that. I think the biggest issue for us throughout the season was not just the styles, it was also the defensive changes, the NCAA rules with the bumping. We had probably more adjustments this year from adjusting to the way the game is being officiated now than we probably did on the offense. I mean, I thought our transition and pushing the ball more, I thought the seniors wanted to do that. We had some good success. We ended up being third leading scorer in the conference. We still had one of the best assist-turnover ratios in the conference. We still had the fewest turnovers in the conference. So we were pleased with that. I thought our weakness here was defending, and defending specifically the perimeter. The three-point shooting was probably the part that we just got to get there a little bit closer, a little tighter, and a little more urgent on the great shooters. It shows you what kind of talent we have in the Big West as well. When you look at Gabe Vincent, Michael Bryson, Luke Nelson, the Martin kid, young kid. I mean, just teams have 2 and 3 knockdown shooters that have really the ability to score it off the dribble, score it off screens, and create their own shot. So I think that's the most impressive part of the conference, and that's where we've got to improve the most going into next year.
Joe, obviously a disappointing season. I know you had much greater expectations, a lot of close losses. I mean, if you had to put your thumb on what you've gone wrong and 10 things that's a great spring for you guys.
It was a really frustrating season. The part that I just told our team was that I don't think I've had a team with a worst win-loss record that had fewer problems anywhere. And we didn't have one kid complain about playing time, about the offense, about the defense, about not one guy in the office, not one guy mumbling and grumbling in the locker room. It came every single day. And I'm not saying that just to say that. Some years you look at guys, I've coached 27 years, and you look at some teams and you go like, boy, you win, you go a 3-game, 4-game winning streak, and you got 3 or 4 players unhappy. You got an unhappy locker room when you win. We had a competitive locker room and a family, and to put my finger on one thing, there's no way. And I just got done telling our players, I said, you're going to look back, coaches will look back, and you'll say, this year's record, we could have done this, we lost too many close games, we missed free throws. It was, in my mind, it's futile to sit there and try to put a finger on it. When you have the struggles that we had this year, I think that the biggest thing I would say is that it was transitional. It was a real transitional year, and there was a lot of things. When you move out of one house and you move into another one, you lose your blender. You can't remember where the files were. I've done this a few times. I've moved a few times in this coaching world, and every time you change houses and you move, you can't find the old pair of jeans, the shoes, where's the cooler at, what happened, and things get lost in the shuffle. And I thought a lot of things got lost in our shuffle, and I think that we're a much more clear team. But the one thing that I'm most proud of, we did not get the lost in the shuffle as far as character, as far as commitment, as far as our academic commitment, our social commitment, our commitment to each other, a family atmosphere that, hey, man, that locker room's a funeral. I said, that's why you need family. Don't tell me you're family and care about each other until you turn to your brother and you pick him up and say, yeah, we did not accomplish what we wanted this year. It's a very frustrating year. Frustrating from a basketball sense, not frustrating from a human sense. And I'll take that because you can build upon that. You know, when Malik Love and Michael Bolden call you and they got jobs, and you hear from that, and you got Anthony Silvestri from last year playing in Italy with Alberto Ganis, another player of ours, got him a job in Italy, and Chris Eversley sending you an email wishing you good luck, Chris O'Brien coming to the game. I mean, we probably had 25 to 30 of our alumni basketball players in the last 5 years texting and calling and sending emails and tweeting, and to me that's so heartwarming, and to the program knows that we've made a change. We've made a change. We're gonna be playing a little different style, and we're gonna work on that for the next year.
Anyone else? I think that'll do it. Thank you, Coach, for your time. I'm moving.
Thank you, guys.
I'm moving next weekend. I didn't want to hear that.
There you go. There will be some heartbreaks.
It's only a blender I can move with it.